This is what the world's biggest IT failure looks like. The so-called Seek Assistance queue at Heathrow this morning. British Airways inundated by passengers whose flights were cancelled yesterday. The traveller who filmed this told us it was manual check-in only, and that after paying for an airport hotel, he finally got to Berlin 18 hours late.
We were very surprised at how disrupted it was, especially for an external situation, an external problem that was not of Heathrow's making, or even of BA's making. What did kind of concern me somewhat at Heathrow was the lack of information and the lack of knowledge of people on the customer service side. So they were clearly not briefed. They didn't know what was going on. We asked what the problem was, and we were told again, well, it's a global outage, which we knew, of course.
It was CrowdStrike, an IT company based here in Texas, which sent a security update to millions of computers. But far from making them more secure, it caused the largest global computer outage yet. America is home to most of the world's busiest airports, but not yesterday. The skies clearing as they did after the September the 11th attacks more than 20 years ago. The result, scenes like this at Gatwick Airport, on what was supposed to be the busiest travelling weekend for British holidaymakers since before the COVID pandemic.
Thankfully, we've now reduced from the hundreds of cancellations on Friday to dozens of cancellations today. But it's still extremely annoying if you're one of the 7,000 or 8,000 people booked on those 45 flights which have been grounded today.
This was the queue crossing from Mexico into Texas. What's usually the fast lane reduced to a standstill. Computers at the US border no longer able to process regular low-risk commuters for a journey that usually takes just 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to take at least 4 hours, she says. It's incredible that the US has such advanced technology, but it can't fix this failure.
Es increíble.
This was Mexico's Cancun airport. It could take weeks for every computer to be rebooted. And experts say this crisis could have been avoided if the update had been properly tested on a smaller scale first.
The global effect here is that everything went down at the same time, which no one even assumed was even possible. So if we roll this out maybe a few stages at a time in different regions, it should help protect those companies and all those computers from ever being affected from this ever again.
The NHS says its systems are coming back online in most areas, but backlogs on appointments could last into next week. All this is a stark reminder that the more computers connect us, the more at risk we all are when they fail.
Well, we can speak now to Dr. Fari Ahmad, who is a GP, and her practice in Wilmslow in Cheshire was badly affected by the outages yesterday, and she joins us from there now. Dr. Ahmad, are you back up and running first?
No, that's what I came in for, to see. Fingers crossed if we were up, but we're not back up yet. So, yeah, we've got to make other plans.
Right, so what are the plans? What are the sort of knock-on impacts of that in terms of patients and patient safety?
So they're massive. So, just like people's appointments are being cancelled. When we do see people, as emergencies, we're not going to be able to access their full medical records. I can't read any letters. I can't see any results. I can't order blood tests. I don't even know who's sitting in my waiting room because everything's so coming through the computer system. And just now we've realised that people who had access through the NHS app to order prescriptions aren't able to do that either. So that's going to be another increase in demand on Monday morning.
Well, actually, we spoke to one pharmacy in northwest London, which said that in that pharmacy alone, 40 patients were sent home or to A&E because they couldn't process prescriptions, as you're describing. Potentially, are patients at risk from that? Yes,
they are. There are risks from being treated without having all your medical information. There are risks from not taking your medication, and I think it's probably in a few weeks, months' time, somebody will be able to tell you, look, these are the people that were at risk of, serious illness or even death from it. this kind of thing should not be happening. I know it's happened worldwide and everybody's out, but I know like where we are, like the computer system we use, that was affected, but other GPs have other computer systems that weren't affected. And my understanding is the underlying architecture that's so decrepit and it's not fit for purpose. This is people's health information we're talking about. Listening to your story about people trying to hack into it is even more concerning. We should make sure, just like we have safe roads, safe railways, our IT for GP premises should be safe for the NHS. Shouldn't be like this.
And, obviously there was a well-publicised hack into the NHS systems just last month. I know it took quite a while for the NHS to get back up and running. I mean, I assume that's now resolved, but it highlights, doesn't it, the kind of vulnerability of NHS systems at a time when cyber attacks are on the rise.
Yes, certainly. So my understanding is they got in through a pathology ordering system. And I certainly know that there are GPs who request blood tests and they have to use Internet Explorer, which is so vulnerable. And, things like that really need urgent attention. They need to be updated. I think we are moving to a more digital world, but we need to make sure we have these guardrails in place so that we can move people safely down this. This should be a never event. This shouldn't happen again.
Right, so presumably it comes down to money at the end of the day, that the systems are so creaking.
Yes, I think money is one of the major factors. And I know it's a big organization and lots of other vested interests, but, patient safety should come first.
Dr. Fari Ahmed, thank you very much for joining us.